Alrighty, it's Saturday afternoon. Got back from the market not too long ago. Had a pretty good day today. Sold a fair bit of stuff. Sold pretty much all of our produce that we had there. So right now this is spinach. We didn't have none this week. It's already bolted and it's looking pretty bad. So I'm just gonna take the mower and mow it. I'm gonna mow it down, and I'm gonna put zucchini in here. I have zucchini plants and starts. I got, I don't know, 6 or 8 of them in there. We started. Actually, I planted a bunch up on the hill in around the raspberries up back behind the house. So I got a bunch up there, and I'm gonna put more here. So I'm gonna get the mower and I'm gonna just mow this down. It's pretty warm out right now. It's about 90 degrees. It's probably 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm gonna mow this and put my zucchini in this evening. So I'm just gonna mow with the push mower, bag it up, and I'm gonna feed this to the chickens when I dump it out of the bag. I'm gonna dump it up to the chickens for them to eat. Yeah, I never run the mower through here before, but it should work pretty good. We'll see. Alright, I just watered the zucchini, so I was going to take you in the greenhouse and water them, but it's too noisy in there from all the fans being on. But anyhow, they're watering their land right there. Right there in that flat. So I'm going to plant them probably every couple feet. I'm not going to measure. I'm just going to stick them in the ground. They go where they go. Alright, I got a bucket. I thought I had to mix more up, but I had to mix up some fertilizers. And as I said before in other videos, there you are. It's just chicken compost, or not chicken compost, worm castings, some alfalfa pellets, minerals that I get from the local nursery supply place, Epsom salts, and some blood and bone meal. That's all it is. And I'm just going to give it a light dusting. A lot of times you'll see me put this in the bottom of holes like with tomatoes and that kind of thing. I'm not going to do it for these. It seemed like it didn't work as good when I did it. Put it in the bottom of a hole for like any cucurbits. Doesn't seem like it does as good, but for nightshades it seems like it does all right. But anyhow, I'm going to sprinkle this lightly out across the soil surface. So that's pretty much it as far as prep goes. The reason I don't pull my plants out, the reason I don't pull these roots out and just mow them down is because if they come back a little bit, that's fine. They'll come back a little bit. It's not that big a deal to me. I can keep them pruned back a little bit if they come up. And if they come up, they might not bolt again right as quick. So you might be able to get some more out of them too that way. But the main reason is because them roots pulled carbon out of the atmosphere all year, and all spring so far, and it's pumped sugars into the soil. And if I pull them out, it's going to pull them sugars out with the roots. If you let them roots in there to rot down, then you'll get all them sugars that it pulled out of the atmosphere from carbon and changed it through photosynthesis. It'll keep it in there, and it'll break down in the soil, and it'll feed the microorganisms that's in the soil, which that's actually what feeds your plants. It's not the nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. That's not what feeds the plants. It's the microorganisms in the soil that feeds the plants. So I try to keep those intact. Also, what I just put down, it's pretty much organic. I don't go by organic standards. I do my own thing. Everything in there is natural though. There's nothing in there there's nothing synthetic that I use on anything ever. It's either it's either natural or I make it here at the house, but it's all out of natural made stuff. And I don't till because it kills the microorganisms and the funguses that's in the soil. So I try not to till. I do, and if you've seen me use a pitchfork, I do that. But as far as tilling the soil up and destroying it, I don't. But you can see my soil. Let me get back here where you can see our soil here is pretty. It's pretty loose. You know, it's pretty loose on its own. It doesn't need me to till it up. This thing right here is a lifesaver. One more thing I want to tell you about planting cucurbits from transplants, which would be cucumbers, squashes, pumpkins, watermelons, cantaloupes. They're all in the same type of plant. See the roots? They're extremely nice, but you don't want to break them up. These here type plants, cucurbits, don't like their roots messed with. These here actually went a little bit past where they should have before I put them in the ground. So you don't want to break the roots up no more than you absolutely have to, just to get them out of the pots and get them in the ground. But you don't want to break them apart. I've seen a lot of people breaking plants apart, flowers and stuff, and that's fine for a lot of things. These you don't want to do that with. You want to try to keep them intact. It's bad enough they're going through transplant shock. These will do much better if you just plant them from seed, but I like getting them started first. These are probably a week past the one I should have got them in, but I didn't have time. There's 9 more zucchinis that I just put in. I'm going to water them in good. I'm going to water them in with some good homemade fertilizers. I'm not going to explain to you what that is because I got a pretty lengthy video on that. But I want to give these a good as boost as I can so the cucumber beetles don't come and get them. They're all in the greenhouse. They was already starting to attack a few of them. Most of them look really good, but there's a few of them that have cucumber beetle damage on them. They'll devour zucchini for whatever reason. They go after it quicker than any other squash that I've ever grown. So I'm going to get my my homemade fertilizer. I'm going to water these in good. And so the main thing you got to do when you're doing the zucchinis, or any plant actually, is you need a healthy soil. The healthier the better, because where the plants can take up the nutrients right away, give them as big a boost as possible when you first put them in the ground. So hopefully they get big enough that the cucumber beetle attacks won't harm them as bad. So you need to make sure that you give them as much as possible up front, not too much. You don't want to overload them. Sorry, it's sweat dripping on my nose. It drives me nuts. You don't want to overwhelm them, but you want to make sure they're healthy. These all look really good, so I'm not worried about these. I put a bunch around back, and they all look really healthy as well the other night. The 28 I had down in the lower garden, they got attacked pretty bad, but they're actually starting to come back after I gave them my homemade fertilizer. And like I say, I got a video. I need to get it edited. It's going to be pretty lengthy, but it explains a lot. But the main thing is healthy soil keeps your plants healthy. I don't use pesticides or herbicides, but I am, after I get these watered in, I am going to put some diatomaceous earth down just to make sure, try to help them as best as I can. That's pretty much it as far as how I flip a bed from what it was to what it is. I got peas I need to flip. They're done now as well. Our snap peas are done. I'm not sure what I'm gonna put in their place yet, but probably green beans or something, I would guess. I got enough time to get at least 2 more batches of green beans in. This batch behind me here, sorry, let me get out of your way. This batch right here, it's starting to flower. So I know I'm good with it, but I want to get some more in. I want to put a bunch in the pantry, and they sell pretty good at the market, so I want to make sure I have plenty for everybody. We got plenty of seed. I just want to make sure I got plenty of produce. For as much as I can grow anyway. It's not necessarily enough. But, so that's going to wrap this video up, I think. I just wanted to show you how to give your zucchini or whatever the best boost you possibly can. It doesn't take long to do it. You just got to do it. Well, I planted the seeds probably 2 weeks ago. Maybe not quite. Well, probably 2 weeks. They're probably 2 weeks old. And just give them good fertilizer. Make sure you give them a good water before you bring them out and plant them. What that does, the soil is fairly dry, and it'll suck the soil. It'll suck the moisture right out of that potting mix in that dirt if it's dry. So that's why you give them a good drink. And the drink I gave them is pretty good fertilizer. It's homemade fertilizer. It's just, I'll explain it in a video, like I said earlier. So make sure you give them a good boost, because we do have cucumber beetles around here, and they're really bad this year so far. And last year was the first I'd ever had any, and they were down below. I never had none up here, but they were in the greenhouse on those plants. So our cucumbers and our zucchini both down there are taking a pretty good beating. This fertilizer mix that I've used actually has helped, but it's not cured them. So I got some cucumbers I put in up in the cattle panel tunnel, and then these zucchini and the other ones I planted up around back where the berry patch is. I haven't noticed anything up there yet. They still look really good, but they were planted the same as these, and I just put them up night before last. So I don't know how they're going to do, but anyways, I'm going to call it good at that. Anybody got any questions, please ask them in the comment section below. I'll do my best to answer them. Until we meet again, take care and God bless.